Hey again, booktubers. Several months ago, around about 5 months ago to be exact, I did a video requesting that you guys ask me some questions, and yeah, I'm just finally getting around to doing a response. I pretty much don't really have an excuse other than to say that things have been crazy and I've been really busy, and all I can say is that I'm really sorry, and I sincerely hope that at least a couple of the people that asked me questions are still watching my videos so they will see that I'm actually answering the questions now. Okay, so I'm just going to get started. The first person is Sarah Dixon, and her first question is, what is your favorite classic book? I'm a huge fan of Edgar Allan Poe, so anything at all by him, and also I really loved Wuthering Heights. I used to read that a lot when I was a young, moody, miserable teenager. So, yeah. The next question she asked me is, what is your favorite place to read? I really like to read on my couch in my living room. I try not to read in bed because I read somewhere, I have a lot of trouble sleeping to begin with, and I read that if you try to read or you sit on the laptop or whatever on your bed, it inhibits you from relaxing enough to fall asleep, so I try not to do that. So yeah, my couch in my living room. So thank you, Sarah, for the questions. Next person is Sue Morrow. And her first question is, what two authors would you want to do to collaborate and why? This was a really hard question for me. Several people came to mind, but the two that stood out would be Brenna Yovanoff and Laini Taylor. They sort of have a similar writing style in that they're very dark and twisty. Laini Taylor writes the Daughter of Smoke and Bones series, and Brenna Yovanoff has written The Replacement, The Space Between, and Paper Valentine, which all of the books are kind of dark. So I think if they collaborated to write a story, it would be really, really messed up, and I would probably love it to pieces. So yeah. Okay, so next question is, if you could have a dinner party with 3 authors, living or dead, and 3 fictional characters, who would they be and why? Love this question. Love it. Okay, so the 3 authors would be Karina Haley, because I kind of have a crush on her boyfriend Scott, and hopefully she would bring him along. I'm just kidding. Mostly kidding. The next author would be J.R. Ward, and the third author would be John Green. J.R. Ward, because she's kind of intimidating. She's also one of my favorite authors, but she's sort of intimidating and a little bit of an enigma wrapped in a riddle. She always wears the dark sunglasses and she always dresses in black, so it would be kind of fun to try and break through that exterior of hers. And John Green, just because I have a huge nerdy crush on him and I absolutely adore him as an author, and I just probably would go into this nerdgastic catatonic state if I was in the same room as him, but which would kind of make things awkward, but yeah, I would still like to give it a try. So as for the fictional characters, they would be Dex Foray from Karina Haley's Experiment in Terror series, Sadist from the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and Pinfeather from Nevermore by Kelly Cray. Sadist because he's always going to be one of my all-time favorite characters, and he's just such a badass. And Pinfeather, who is my all-time favorite villain / not really a villain, and I would just love to be around that insanity. And Dex, because, you know, if Karina didn't bring her boyfriend Scott, then I could just grab Dex and throw him on the table, and then things would get awkward again. But anyway, yeah, so there would be a lot of testosterone flying around, but I think I can handle it. Okay, next question. That went into a very dark place there. Okay, what would be your dream job? My dream job would be to not have to have a job, to win the lottery and move to Hawaii, have Jason Momoa as a cabana boy. But no, a dream job would be, I always wanted to be an author. I mean, that's probably why I love to read so much. Yeah, so an author able to sustain myself by writing and not having to have a side job. Okay, let's see. Do you prefer dogs or cats or other animals? I am a dog person. I grew up with dogs. Don't have any animals right now, but I'm definitely a dog person. What are your hobbies besides reading and blogging? I used to write short stories. Don't really do that too much anymore. Love to listen to music and go to concerts and photography, but I'm usually so busy with work I don't have much time for hobbies, but yeah. So thank you, Sue, for the questions. Next person is Nerdy1, and if it seems like I'm sort of having brain farts continually, it's because I'm trying to understand the chicken scrawl on this list here. Okay, so the next question is, if you could spend a day with any character, who would it be and why? Dex. Don't really need to say why. What is your preferred time period for books? It depends on the mood that I'm in, really. Sometimes I like historical fiction and I like medieval books. Sometimes I like sci-fi. It just really depends on my mood. Who are your favorite male-male pairings? Definitely, hands down, Blaine Quinn from the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Although I really love the Cut and Run series by Abigail Rowe. That's a really great suspense series. Okay, some of the worst books you've ever read. Okay, well, I just mentioned one in my last reading update video, which is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and I don't remember the author's name. A book that I read over the past 6 months or so called Beautiful Bastard, which was a very, very painful reading experience for me. Yeah, those are really the first three that popped into my head. So, yeah. If you could live in any book world, which would it be and why? Either Black Dagger Brotherhood world, so I could kick some serious lesser ass, or the Experiment in Terror series. Yeah, I would just follow Dex and Perry around. I could hold the flashlight, point the flashlight. They could send me into the haunted house in front of everybody else, see if the ghosts get me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm in such a weird mood, I apologize. Okay, have you seen or read Phantom of the Opera? Yes. I love the Phantom of the Opera, especially the Broadway musical. I used to have, or I still have, but I used to listen to the soundtrack constantly. It's one of my favorite stories of all time. So, thank you very much for the questions. Next one, I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I apologize. It's M-I-R-E-H-I. Is it Miri? Maybe? Okay. Have you ever read a book out of order, and what are your thoughts on that? I have, but it's probably always been a mistake on my part when it's happened. I don't really like doing that. I'm kind of anal retentive about that. If I'm going to start a series, I usually like to start at the beginning, even if the books can pretty much be read alone. So, yeah, I'm kind of obsessive like that. So, alright, the next person is Alexandra Penn, and her question is, what are your favorite genres? I pretty much will read almost anything. I'm not really big on biographies, but I love romance, I love YA. I used to be a huge paranormal romance fan. I don't really read that much of that anymore. I love horror and sci-fi, so pretty much anything other than biographies and westerns. Okay, do you write at all? Yes, I used to write short stories. What is your favorite color? It is blue. Who is your favorite classic author? That would be Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, and the next person, the last person actually, is Ryan from Ryan Reads Books. Hi, Ryan. Okay, if you could visit another country, where would it be and why? I always wanted to go to Europe. I almost went to Ireland when I was a teenager, but something happened and I wasn't able to go, so ever since then I've always wanted to go to Europe, so yeah. Also Australia. Who inspired you to start your YouTube channel? It was the Vlogbrothers, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there were a lot of vloggers and booktubers that I watched, and a lot of them are no longer around, or they're not making videos anymore, which is very sad. So there were a lot of people, but first and foremost it was the Vlogbrothers. What is your all-time favorite book series? Now it's Experiment in Terror by Karina Haley. Also Black Dagger Brotherhood. The Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater. I still like the Mortal Instruments series, even though I'm pissed off at Cassandra Clare for reasons I will not get into on this video. Yeah, so those are my favorites. Do you watch many movies? I go through spurts where all I do is watch movies, and then I'll go like months without watching movies. But yeah, I mean, I like a good horror movie. I like a good cheesy horror movie, and I like comedies. So yeah. What is your favorite kind of watch? Yeah, okay. And if you could be any animal, what would you be and why? I would be a penguin because it's my favorite animal, and they're just so darn cute. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Those are, I believe those are all the questions I was asked. Once again, I apologize from the bottom of my heart that it took me this long to answer them. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I hereby solemnly swear that it will not take me another 5 months to answer them. So until then, you guys, thank you for all the support. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for being so great to me, and I will talk to you guys soon. Happy reading, guys.